Wisconsin-based toolmaker Snap-on posting third-quarter profits that topped expectations, while sales came in just shy. The company blaming unfavorable currency exchanges for the shortfall in revenue. Let's welcome Nick Pinchuk, Snap-on Incorporated CEO. He just recently returned from China. Nick, thanks for joining us. Currency. So currencies are probably the dollar's too strong. It's gotten weaker in the last couple of sessions.
Yeah, it's got, but actually the currency is, I've talked about this. People talk about tariffs. Currency is a much bigger factor for us. Actually, I think for a lot of people, I think we have to manage over that. And the pound and the euro and the SEK for us and, Canadian dollar, those are the things. And currency hit us for 6 cents in the quarter. And we're investing in, one of the silver linings in that number, or things we overcame, is that cars are getting a little more complex. We're investing in products. Those products, some of them have 130 billion records in them, but you have to communicate it to the technicians so they can wield them effectively. And our franchisees are positioned to do that. They call on these guys every day, but we have to train them. So we're investing in training these guys to be able to communicate the power of the product. The sales were kind of interesting. I think you would be interested in this. Tale of two areas. U.S. up okay, Europe down. So for our business, in the two big markets, it's a tale of two cities. The U.S. seems all right across the board, and Europe kind of weak. UK, Germany, Nordic countries.
Any effect of the GM strike?
Not for us. We're more or less, I mean, the whole idea is maybe we'd sell to those factories, but it's more a longer wave. We sell downstream to the technicians, more or less. I think the GM thing has had effect on maybe some of the indexes, manufacturing output and so on.
Well, the reason I was talking about it was part of some of the concessions that labor wanted was a guarantee that as cars become simpler in terms if they do go electric or even automated driving, that you're not going to need nearly as many people building the cars, and they want some type of job security. Why wouldn't Snap-on look like a completely different company 20 years from now?
Well, the thing is, I'll tell you this, is we thrive on change. Every time the cars change, we have to sell people a new set of tools. And whether you realize it or not, a lot of what drives the repair in vehicle repair shops today is electronic, not necessarily mechanical. So repair today, we kind of think there's a big dollop above it, a big set of it, that is that's associated with controllers.
You hire people that write code?
No. I mean, these things got to be recalibrated. Today, for example, you change a battery, you got to reprogram the car sometimes, or you change the motor on the windshield. So if the president said tomorrow,
the windshield, what do you mean?
I mean, motor on the motor on the window.
Okay.
On the side window.
Okay.
Side window. You have to reprogram things. So there's an awful lot of technician time spent in this. Thus, the laptops for cars we're selling with the 130 billion records that analyze all this and guide the technicians through this.
The internal combustion engine becomes less prevalent.
Before we call that, there's I think there's 276 million vehicles on the road today.
That's supposedly the future now.
If you're looking at free demand, electric cars aren't really selling that well, or neither are hybrids.
You don't sound very woke on this.
What?
You don't sound very woke on this.
Okay, but I'll tell you this. If the president tomorrow said, we're going to go to electric cars in 5 years, and we're going to go to autonomous cars in 10 years, I'd kiss him personally. Because that would change all the tools required. If you're going to go to these cars, you require a new set of tools, and we're there to help them with this 130 billion records and a number of things. And it's not going to happen tomorrow. There's probably not a singularity waiting in the market for this. So I don't think it creates that much of a threat for us, actually. In fact, no threat. I think we'd be happy. And for near term, even if it starts to fade into the market, go into the marketplace, they're going to have internal combustion engines and electric cars and hybrids forever. And so when the hybrids came on, technicians needed special set of tools, because if you poke around in there and you hit the wrong place, you're going to fry yourself. So they need insulating tools.
Paying people more?
Pardon me?
Are you paying people more? Do you have to pay people more?
We pay people more. We paid them every year since 2009.
Yeah, but is there pressure now to pay more?
Snap-on, a little bit more, but Snap-on's, I say this, Snap-on's, I think, a great place to work. People want to work there. Who wouldn't want to work in a place where people put a wrench in the hands of their newborns with the Snap-on name on it because they want their child, they believe that the first thing their child touches will influence their life forever. This is a great reinforcing thing about the brand. The working men and women of America you think Snap-on is the outward sign of the pride and dignity they take in their work.
But if you need to hire someone, can you find the people?
We can find them. We can
them.
find them, but the National Association of Manufacturers is having difficulty doing that.
Why are they having a problem and you're not?
Well, I think we're in Wisconsin. I think it's a fairly good and target-rich environment. We're spending a lot of time in technical schools working with these people. We've set up training in every factory, so I think we figured out the formula. Plus, we have an attraction because people like to work for Snap-on.
Who's going to win Wisconsin, Elizabeth Warren or Donald Trump?
Well, I think Donald Trump won it last time, so we'll see what happens. But I think if you go to my people, and I was just with a dozen of them, they're Trump people, and in August I was with 8,000 of them, and they are all Trump people.
Deplorables.
Pardon me?
Nothing.
They're the deplorables, and well, that's one of the reasons is because these people are woke. They've realized
they're woke to the woke.
They're woke, and what they've realized, this happens in the last election. You go through the factories. I know this is going to agonize you, Andrew.
I know.
But the thing is, I think
it's not going to agonize me. I'm just very curious how it's working.
I think this is true. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
They became aware. That saying pejorative things, dismissive and demeaning things about working men and women was one of the last politically correct forms of bigotry in America.
Right.
And they didn't like it.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why they rolled into this.
But just straight bigotry they were cool with.
Well, okay. I think, look, you go to a bar in Russell, Wisconsin.
That's a false premise, Nick. But, answer it anyway.
I ride through a bar in Russell, Wisconsin every day. It's hard scrabble America. You go in that bar, you hear a lot of things. Right? Do you think those things are going to happen? I don't think so. So I'm not an apologist for the Trump administration nor for the president, really. He visited us, and I'm not saying whether I back him or not, but I will say that his focus on American jobs as the primary goal of what he wants to do, as opposed to sacrificing the interest of American jobs on the altar of other interests.
I actually think that's very true.
Resonates with these people.
You're not going to get me to disagree with that.
Okay.
I would like to see whoever the president is to focus on jobs, and that to be a singular focus. And I think that oftentimes, especially in the Democratic Party, unfortunately, there's so much focus on other issues that it actually makes it hard.
I think the Democrats are very focused on jobs, government jobs.
My guys, my guys would say this.
Right, Joe? They love government jobs.
My guys would say this. They're looking for somebody who's talking about expanding the pie as opposed to how to split it up more fairly.
No, and I understand that.
Because when they hear that, they say, I'm not going to gain that.
And by the way,
economic pie, Joe.
I totally get that.
What's your favorite?
I buy into that.
My favorite's raspberry.
I like lemon meringue.
I buy into that. I completely buy into that. I actually think the Democratic Party does themselves a disservice so often.
You know what? I was going to believe it even if you didn't buy into it. I was still going to think what I thought. But anyway, I do feel better now that there's all four of us are together on this.
Thank you, Nick.